Then he takes Narayani Sena and he goes back. And then this guy, the Purohit, reaches Hastinapura and he carries the message to Dhritarashtra. He carries a message to Dhritarashtra because Dhritarashtra is the king. And he offers namaskaram. He says that, okay, your son Dharmaraja has successfully finished his 13 years of Aranyavasa and Ajnatavasa. Now he is offering his prayers to you. And the message that they wanted me to convey to you is that they are willing for a peaceful agreement with you and your sons. If you can give them back whatever they rightly deserve, everything will be fine. They will be friends with you. They will be, nothing changes. Your relationship doesn't change. They are ready to forget everything. They are ready to forget anything that you have done to them. And then he also goes on to count how their 12 years of Aranyavasa has been, how their 1 year of Ajnatavasa has been. And Dhritarashtra is almost in tears knowing that they are safe. Happy tears, apparently. Should be understood as happy tears when he is in the courtroom and when he is in the palace. They should be considered otherwise. Okay, and then he shares this message. He conveys this message, and then he goes back. He goes back to Upaplavyam. And when he is there, he gets an indication that they are not willing to give anything in return to Pandavas. He gets that message, subtle message, and then he goes back and he conveys the same to. I think Duryodhana says that. Duryodhana says that I'm not willing to give anything. If they are courageous enough, they could come and wage a war with me. If they are so valorous, if they are so skilled at warfare, and if they think that they are very strong, they can come and wage a war with me. I'm not going to give anything to them. Then this Drupada Maharaja, whichever Purohit goes to the court of Hastinapura, he asks, Dharmaraja is asking at least for 5 villages, 1 for each of the brother. And he is happy. He is not asking for more. The primary thing that Dharmaraja wants is peace. He doesn't want the entire, all the kingdoms at that point of time to perish and the men to perish in a war. So peace is his first choice. Given a choice, he would always choose peace. But for that to happen, he'll at least need 5 villages, 1 for each of his brother. Then Duryodhana says, forget about 5 villages. I will not even give Dharmaraja so much land. When you drop a needle on the floor, the tip of the needle, there will be some space occupied by that, right? Even that much of space I'm not going to give. That is the message Duryodhana says. Duryodhana is not willing to even give them an inch of land. Forget about 5 villages. If they think that they are capable, ask them to come to the battlefield, and face us. That is the message. With that said, Drupada Maharaja's diplomat leaves the place. And then there is a lot of discussion that happens between Bhishma, Vidura, Duryodhana, Karna, and Dhritarashtra. Bhishma tries to put some sense into the head of Dhritarashtra. He says, these are your kids. These are like Duryodhana and rest of your 99 kids. Why don't you consider them as kids of your own? Even after going through so much of hardships and even after going through so much of humiliation from your son, Dharmaraja is so respectful towards you, and he has sent a message. His first choice is peace. You know for the fact that if those 4 brothers, if Dharmaraja said yes, are given a consent with one eye, all the 4 brothers would storm on your Hastinapura, and within no time Hastinapura will be theirs. You know that how capable they are. And in the last few years, Arjuna has gotten the Pashupatastra, which is the most powerful of the weapons of that time. So he has got so many things in his arsenal, and he is still asking for peace. Yes, Atharva.
Is the most powerful weapon of our time like the biggest nuke?
I will give you, okay, this is a very interesting thing. I will give you the details of Pashupatastra in some time. Then you can decide, then you can do some research and tell me if there is any missile or any weapon today, in today's world, that is equivalent to Pashupatastra, okay? I will give you the details in a bit. Where was I? That is what Bhishma says. And then Karna says, I don't know why you are always on the side of Pandavas. You are eating the food here from Hastinapura and you speak on behalf of Pandavas. This is what who says? Karna says. Karna's words are always like this. And then he goes on to say, if a day comes when I have to face this guy, Arjuna, I will kill him in a blink of an eye. And then Bhishma laughs at him. Bhishma laughs at him and says, I'm not going to go and talk about what happened in the past when you were waging a war with Gandharvas. You remember that Gandharva episode when they were in Aranyavasa, right? I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the most recent episode in the Uttara Gograhana, where you had to face Karna, where you had to face Arjuna. It took Arjuna like 1 or 2 arrows to make you run away from the battlefield. You literally ran away from the battlefield. And now you're talking about defeating Arjuna in a blink of an eye. Yeah. He has Shakti Hastra, that is why he's talking like that. But Bhishma knows for the fact that it is no matter what kind of Astra this guy has, he will never be able to win over Arjuna. Because the only reason being, Dharma is on the side of Pandavas. Bhishma understands that. Bhishma is a sane person, he's a learned person, he's someone who values Dharma, who has ethics and principles. So he knows for the fact that no matter what, they are going to win. Yes.
If he knows that Dharma is on the side of the Pandavas, then why is he fighting on the Kauravas side?
So, the oath that Bhishma has taken, put it on the floor. The oath that Bhishma has taken when Satyavati got married to Shantanu Maharaju is that he will stay as a protector of the Hastinapura throne. So, whoever is the king, Bhishma will be protecting the king and protecting the throne.
Then why does Dronacharya and Kurupacharya, those people actually fight for?
All of them are appointed as gurus by the Hastinapura throne, right?
But if he knows that the Pandavas are going to win, then why isn't he on their side? Because he can be the protector.
There is one more philosophical aspect tied to it. If Bhishma, at any point of time, if Bhishma, Drona, Krupacharya, all three of them, if they decide to fight against Kauravas, if they go and join Pandavas, there is no question of war. Duryodhana is going to war only because Bhishma, Drona, Krupacharya are on his side. The minute they flip the side, there is no war. If there is no war, these guys won't be killed. Yeah, people who are demonic in nature should be killed. And in a way, Bhishma, Drona, Krupacharya are sacrificing in this war. If they do not fight, there is no war. And if there is no war, this guy is not going to perish. And if he doesn't perish, he will keep coining this kind of lame plans, nasty plans, and there is no end to it. These people have to be killed. So they're kind of giving themselves as a sacrifice. That is also another way of looking at it.
Like giving themselves as a sacrifice for the good of the world.
For the good of the world, for the upholding of dharma. That's correct. Okay. So Bhishma laughs at Karna and says, you are so incompetent and incapable to make these kind of statements. A fraction of it is also not true. And Duryodhana keeps falling for these kind of tricks all the time. And there is a war of words. And after a certain point, Karna says, you are always talking about me like this. You go and check with Parashurama. Parashurama is the teacher for both of them, right? Parashurama is a teacher for Bhishma as well as this guy, as well as Karna. then Bhishma says, I know about your, I know how you conducted yourself with Parashurama, and I know what kind of, and I know, sure. I was just kidding, guys. I was just trying to be funny. I know what kind of student you were with Parashurama, and I know what kind of curse Parashurama gave you. I know everything. You don't have to boast in front of me. I know everything. And at that point of time, Karna feels very, very humiliated. And Dronacharya also joins Bhishma, and he says, I am the student of both of you. I can very clearly say the capabilities of Arjuna are much more superior than what you are. And in the last 12 years, he has acquired so much of weapons. You cannot even stand in front of Arjuna for like 5 minutes. And forget about all these things. Sri Krishna Paramatma is on their side. That one thing is enough to say where the victory is going to be. So guys, there is no point in waging a war with that particular side. Then Karna goes on to say, they have been in Aranyas for the last 12 years, feeding on honey and feeding on tubers. They didn't even have proper food. They are so weak at this point of time. They don't even have energy left in their bodies. And we have so many friends, and everybody all those kings who were won over by Dharmaraja at the time of Rajasuya Yaga are ready to support Duryodhana. So we have so much of friends, so much of army, and you keep talking about this kind of failing or losing in the war and so on and so forth. I don't understand. I don't see any logic with your thing.
Oh, yeah, speaking of emperor, is Dharmaraja still an emperor?
Technically, yes. He's only trying to get his empire back. And he's trying to see if he can get it without having to wage a war. Okay, with that said, Karna gets really, really irritated, and Karna gets up and says, as long as this guy is alive, which guy? Bhishma. As long as Bhishmacharya is alive, I am not going to enter the battlefield. That is what he says. Karna says that. So, think about how, think about it. What kind of friend is he? Duryodhana has so high hopes on Karna, and Karna is removing himself from the battlefield. Until Bhishma dies, I won't enter. So, there are already people who are wishing for the death of Bhishma, who is one of the superior warriors, one of the best warriors that Kauravasena has got is Bhishma, and somebody is already thinking about death of Bhishma. So when you are going into a war, you should have that positive attitude that we are going to win, and we are not going to lose any of our warriors. Notanchti, right? At the beginning itself, if you are talking things like, okay, if this guy dies, then I will become the king. Then what kind of spirit do they have? Anyways, so with that said, he leaves the place, and Duryodhana tries to calm down these two people, and the episode ends there. Everybody goes back.